Okay, let me make sure. Oh, yep, we're recording. Hi, Wanderers. We're back with Dr. Audra, and we have a new top 8 bullet to give you guys, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Audra to lead us in here.
Yeah, hi Shannon. Thanks so much for having me back. It was a really great conversation last week, and I'm looking forward to continuing that with you and all of your wanderers.
I agree.
So I know there were a lot of requests for, what are the other top 8? So last week we talked a lot about routine and how important that is to build consistency and just routine and get through stressful situations with families and other adults. The other items on my top 8 list I'll rattle through them, and I'm somewhat hesitant to just rattle them off or bullet them out.
Sure.
Because I do think they warrant, a full conversation and, a risk of feeling like they sound trite or difficult to really interpret, like what does this mean for my own life. But I'll rattle through them, and then we'll touch on maybe one.
Okay.
Then next time we talk, we can circle back and touch on some of the others.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Just so we're not all wondering what they are.
Yes, exactly. We don't want to leave the wanderers wondering.
Yeah, exactly.
So the second item would be physical exercise. So getting out, either getting outside, getting into your living room, moving some furniture around, and breaking a sweat, moving the body. And that is so important. I'll come back to that. But so physical exercise, number 2, routine and physical exercise, top 2.
Okay.
Number 3, reset expectations.
Mm.
We have a lot on our plates these days, and we're being asked to do increasingly more and more, wear even more hats. And I've been so impressed and awed by the ways that people have been able to take on new tasks. But it also will take some adjustment, and we'll have to adjust our expectations of what we were able to do in the past and what we're currently able to do given all of the new and novel things that we're learning and adjusting to. So that's number 3, reset and adjust expectations. Number 4, be kind. We've heard a lot about this, like, when you're out at the grocery store or when you're picking up, supplies at the pharmacy, just know that, we're all in this together and we want to be kind to each other. But I'd like to take that a step further and really challenge everyone to be kind, not only to those that we meet out there in the world or that we interface with virtually, but to be kind to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen so many people that are their toughest critics in this intense time and are really hard on themselves in a way that they would not be hard on others. It's really common to cut other people some slack during times of stress, but then increase our own expectations of ourselves. So really, really encouraging everyone to be kind to yourself and others.
I can't wait to talk about that one a lot more, but yes. Okay, let's keep going.
The next is to be creative. I have been so inspired by the creative ideas that parents have that are posted on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and they've really kind of sparked my creativity for problem solving. Parents that are worried about their child's social skills or social development are now doing things like FaceTiming with grandparents. And I was inspired by an idea and have set this up with my own family, is we have daily grandparent read alouds. So my kids know at 2 p.m. every day, each one takes a turn to get on to FaceTime, and they have a read aloud with one of their grandparents. They've even taken it a step further to start doing really brief, quick science experiment demonstrations. And this is such a beautiful, wonderful idea of how to connect with people, because it's great for my kids, but it's also great for my folks who are now looking forward to this special quality time that they have with their grandkids. And it's giving them something else to do and talk about, in addition to all the things that they're worried about and taking care of in their own household. But it's a beacon in their day. They're really looking forward to this special time with their grandkids to actually do something. Sometimes it can be really hard to, FaceTime, especially with young kids. The conversation usually goes something like, "Hey, how are you, buddy?" "Oh, pretty good. What are you doing?" "Oh, nothing." "Oh, I just colored a picture." "Oh, nice. Let me see it." "Okay, good." And then the conversation can fizzle out for young kids. And so to give them something to do with the person that they're talking with on FaceTime is a wonderful solution.
Beautiful.
So that's just a very narrow example, but there are examples of this creativity all over the place. And I'm really touched and inspired by all of the ideas that I'm seeing. The next would be to create space for conversation. So being able to recognize your own emotions and emotions of your children, validating those emotions, processing together, and then once those, once you have given that time to process, then also knowing it's completely appropriate and healthy to redirect. Okay, we felt that, we talked about that. Now we're going to redirect to, our new board game or our new family game, Don't Break the Ice. And so allowing time for processing big emotions, but also pivoting to something else that is a distraction and something that you can build family memories together.
Yes, and so we don't get bogged down or just dwelling and getting into a cycle of just repeating those emotions.
Exactly right, because it's important to feel and process, but it's also important not to get stuck in those. And especially with the bombardment of the media, and it can easily consume adults, and kids, when they're right there, can overhear and consume way more information than can easily be processed or managed at one time.
Sure.
So, as a side note, turn off the TV.
Definitely.
Really monitor the media. That's not one of the top 8 though.
Yeah.
It should be. And then number 7 would be mindset. So really trying to find those silver linings. And I know for some this is harder than others, especially for those that are experiencing symptoms or working on the front lines. So, I think I have a whole nother set of recommendations for parents that are in the medical profession or in some of those other frontline industries, because they're going to be coping with a whole different set of stressors and traumas, really. So but really that mindset, and yes, this is a hard situation, yes, this is a crisis, and there are a lot of things to want to change and to worry about, but there are also some beautiful moments that are emerging, and there are really wonderful things that are coming out of this crisis situation. And so to make sure that we're focusing on those things as well as the things that you want to change. We do, and I think that you had said you have a system in your house for focusing on the roses and the thorns. Is that right?
Yes, we share roses and thorns each night at dinner. And it's something we've done for years. We learned it from the Obamas. I think they talked about how they do that at their dinner table. And it has been a wonderful tradition. And anybody that comes over and has dinner with us, they also take part in the roses and thorns. And, it's funny, sometimes people are uncomfortable sharing their thorns, but we always have talked about how every day has roses, every day has thorns. Let's talk about them, get them out there, and then just like you said, then we move on to the next person, and we see how it just is up and down. That's life.
That's great. And so, the fact that you had that already established prior to a crisis is wonderful. It builds resilience. But just because someone didn't have something like that established you can start it today. But really taking a moment, some families are using gratitude jars or other types of strategies to help refocus the energy of the house and the attention on some of the good things that are happening. I've seen a lot of great videos online lately on and the good news out there. And those are
Yes.
wonderful things to kind of keep at the forefront of family life and with kids. There are helpers everywhere, and there's good news happening every day.
Absolutely.
Um,
Agreed.
and last but not least is self-care. And we touched on this last week. It is by far one of the most foundational recommendations to get through a global pandemic. And this is because we need parents' mental health to be solid. We need parents to have time to process and feel and grieve and understand their own mental health and do the things to feel better that they know that will help them feel better, so that they can be that calm presence and that confident, reassuring presence to their children. And we all, I think I mentioned this last time, I had to increase my dose of self-care in order to be a better mom and a better psychologist. And I think it's really important for all of us to look at what we're doing for our self-care. How is it working? Monitor. Is it enough? Should it be different? What else can I do? And really making sure to prioritize that. And, even if that's the only thing that is getting done, that's the important thing.
I love that. I totally agree. So why don't we stop there with the top 8, and then we'll follow up with another talk, perhaps on the physical. I'm sorry, now I'm forgetting. Oh, physical activity.
Yes, let's start there next time.
Okay. All right. Dr. Audra, thank you so much. I cannot believe.
I love talking with you, and I look forward to our next conversation. In the meantime, be well and take care of your kiddos. Can't wait to talk to you again.
You too. You too. Okay, let me stop the recording.